Do you want to go gray from dyed hair, but you're afraid of sporting a skunk stripe? Well, I've got great news for you. You don't have to. Today, I'm going to share with you 3 different ways to go gray in secret from dyed hair without a harsh demarcation line between your dyed hair and your naturally silver hair. Hi, I'm Katie from KatieGoesPlatinum.com, a website completely devoted to the topic of gray hair. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am super happy to have you here with me today. Before we dive in, I just want to point out to you that it is super ironic that I am the person telling you how to go gray in secret without a skunk stripe when I sported a massive skunk stripe for the entire 2.5 years of my transition to gray hair. Now, I did go gray cold turkey, and I know that method is not for many of you. Personally, I enjoyed every minute of it, and the skunk stripe didn't bother me, but I know that's not the case for many people. One of the beauties of this world is that we are all different, so what worked for me may not work for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you don't want to go gray the same way I did, you definitely have options. Now, before I lay out all those options for you, I just wanted to point out that if you like this content, if you find it helpful, fun, or informative, please do hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That really helps me a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, here are the top 3 ways to go gray in secret. The first method is wigs and hair pieces. This is a great option for women who do not want a skunk stripe, obviously. They don't want to cut their hair short. They don't want to or can't continue to use dye, or they have damaged hair which cannot withstand the rigors of a salon transition, which does involve bleach and can be damaging if your hair is already damaged. Now, using wigs or hair pieces is very easy. All you have to do is this. First, you're going to stop dyeing your hair. Then you are going to let your gray roots start to grow in. But since you don't want people to see those roots, you're going to use root powders or sprays or even wide headbands to disguise your roots. Once you get to the point where you can no longer disguise your roots, they've grown out too much, then you have 2 options. Option number 1, you can start wearing wigs. Option number 2, you can start wearing hair pieces. If you choose to use wigs, it's super easy. Just immediately start wearing wigs and continue to wear wigs until all of your gray hair has grown out to the length you desire. Once your hair has grown out to the length that you want it to be, stop wearing the wigs and reveal your glorious naturally silver hair to the world. Now, while you're transitioning, you have a choice. You can either wear wigs in the shade of hair color that you already have so that nobody even notices that you're doing this, or if you want to have a little fun with it, you can always get wigs in various shades. You can get red hair, blonde hair, black hair, blue hair, pink hair, multicolored hair, whatever you like. There are no rules. If you choose to use hair pieces, here's what you do. Once your gray roots have grown out long enough to pull them back to probably around the nape of your neck, like this, so that you can pull them into a little ponytail, then you can start wearing your hair pieces. Now, of course, you'll want to pick a hair piece that matches the shade of your gray roots. The good news is there are many wonderful companies now that offer gray hair pieces in a variety of shades. You can find everything from salt and pepper to pure white. The sky is the limit. And you can also find messy buns, ponytails, braids, everything. Everything's on the market now. It's fantastic. And just like with wigs, once your gray hair has grown out to the length you desire, all you have to do is stop wearing the hair pieces. Whether you choose to go gray with wigs or hair pieces is completely up to you. Some people find wigs uncomfortable, but some people find hair pieces uncomfortable. If I were you, I would go down to your local reputable wig salon and try on wigs and hair pieces and see which one might be best for you. Now, the most expensive wigs and hair pieces are going to be human hair ones, and obviously the least expensive will be synthetic, but you can find some very nice synthetic wigs these days. In the show notes, you'll find links to some of the wig shops that have been recommended to me, and they all have a variety of gray shades. Now, the second method of going gray in secret is the dye strip technique. If you check out my channel, you'll see that I already have a fabulous video all about it. It is a very popular method of going gray and avoiding a skunk stripe, especially for women with dark brunette hair, because dark brunette hair is going to show a skunk stripe more than any other shade. Before I explain to you what the dye strip technique is, I did want to point out that it will not work well for you if you have short hair, if you have bangs, if you have super curly hair. For this technique to work, you must have medium length to long hair, and you must be able to part it on the side. So if you don't have that, you might want to skip this section altogether and go on to the next method. Now, this crazily brilliant method, which I'll explain to you in a second, is best for women who obviously want to avoid a skunk stripe, do not want to cut their hair very short, are okay with continuing to dye for a while, want something that they can do at home or at the salon. But this method is for women who do not want to do a full-on gray hair transition at the salon, because let's face it, those can be expensive and time-consuming. So this is really a great method for somebody who wants to do it themselves or do it quickly at the salon. The dye strip technique is a little involved, so rather than go through all of it right here, I'd encourage you to check out my blog post, which I'll link to below. In the meantime, here's the quick condensed version of what the dye strip technique is. Basically, you part your hair on the side, so like this. This is a slobby version of it. So you part your hair on the side, and then you're going to segment off about 1.5 inches of hair. So you want to get hair on either side of the part, going back towards the crown. So let's say all the way back about 5 inches. You're going to section that off. And for the next, however long it takes, you're only going to dye the roots of that strip. In the meantime, all this gray hair is going to be growing out underneath that strip. So if you can imagine that this strip here is dark brunette hair, when I part it on the side, it's going to hang down over that gray hair. So this is all going to be dark, right? And it's going to hang down over the gray hair. When your gray hair underneath the strip has grown out long enough for you to feel comfortable revealing it to the world, you're going to flip your part. So you're going to take your hair part on the other side, and all this lovely gray hair is going to cover up that dyed strip. And then the dyed strip is just going to continue to grow out underneath that silver hair until you are all done with your transition. If you do it correctly, nobody will know. I have known many women who've gone gray successfully with this technique. It's wonderful, especially for women with dark brunette hair. The one question everybody asks is, will any gray hair show while you're doing this? Well, yes, of course it will. People will be able to see the gray hair that's growing out underneath the dark hair, but it will look more like peekaboo highlights or like silver highlights. Unlike with a regular cold turkey transition where you just let your gray roots grow out, there will be no stark demarcation line. You will not see a stark line of gray hair and then a strip of the dyed hair down here. Instead, it will be kind of woven in, and the dark hair will hang down over it. It really is crazy and wonderful, and it works. If the dye strip technique sounds like it might be interesting to you, definitely check out the show notes below. I'll put a link to a PDF I did that's in my store, and it has all the instructions for how to go gray using the dye strip technique. A lot of women like to print it out and bring it to their salon to show to their hairdresser, and he can do the technique for them if they're not comfortable trying to do it themselves. Okay, now I have a little surprise for you. After I tell you the third method, which is next, I have a bonus method of going gray that is the best way to go gray quickly. It's the only true overnight way to go gray. It does not involve a skunk stripe. However, it's definitely not a secret method of going gray. So if you want to see that, stick around to the end. Now we've come to the third method of going gray in secret without a skunk stripe, and that is a salon transition. In other words, you go to a professional and you let them transition you to gray hair using salon methods. This is a great option for women who do not want to go gray cold turkey, who want to have a seamless transition to gray hair, who want to go gray fairly quickly. It's great for women who have healthy, undamaged hair. It works especially well on women with lighter colored hair, for example, light red hair or blonde hair. And it's definitely a great way to go gray for women who feel nervous about going gray and they really want the help of a professional. There are many different salon methods of going gray, but the most common ones are balayage, highlights, lowlights, and gray blending, which is basically a combination of highlights and balayage. You can find out all the details of these various salon methods in my book, Every Which Way to Gray, which I will link to below. It details every single method of going gray, including all of the pros and cons. I'm offering it at a special $10 off discount to all of my YouTube viewers now for a limited time, so just check out the show notes below. Now back to the salon transition. Most methods of going gray at the salon involve bleaching the hair to the lightest color possible, usually a very light yellow, and then toning the hair to make it appear gray. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. If you have damaged hair, thin hair, curly hair, brittle hair, fragile hair, or dark brunette hair, your hair can get quite damaged from the bleach. And let's face it, salon transitions can also be expensive and time consuming. Unless you have very healthy light colored hair, there's a good chance you will have to go back to the salon at least a few times for follow-up treatments. Oftentimes you also have to invest in some treatments to do at home between visits. But I've heard from a lot of women, especially those in high-profile careers in the public eye, such as lawyers or actresses, and they are willing to risk any damage to their hair to have a seamless transition with no skunk stripe. If you decide that a salon transition is something you would like to do, here are my recommendations. First, make sure that you find a reputable salon who knows how to do these transitions. Book an in-person consultation before you move forward with getting your hair done at that salon, because like I said, you want them to assess your hair and see if it's healthy enough to withstand a salon transition. And before you book an appointment, I'd recommend that you read reviews and that you look for before and after photos. If you need to find a good salon and you're not sure where to start, check out my salon directory. Not every salon in that directory can do a professional transition, so make sure you call them and ask first, but all of them are very friendly. Now, if you are in the Los Angeles area, I highly recommend Color Lounge in Burbank. The stylists there are lovely and they are professional, and they know everything there is to know about going gray at the salon. They are the best that I can think of in Southern California, and I highly recommend them. Okay, now it's on to the bonus method that I promised. Now, this method definitely will not be right for some of you. I know I myself was not brave enough to do it, but it is truly the only method of going gray that you can do overnight. It is the fastest method of going gray. It is the cheapest way to go gray, aside from just growing your hair out and not cutting it. And that is to go gray with a buzz cut. Now, you definitely will not have a skunk stripe, but it's definitely not a way to go gray in secret, because everybody will be surprised and it is going to make an impact. The women I know who've done this have said it is super liberating. They are happy they did it. The only complaint I've ever heard is that your head gets cold. So if you live in, for example, Minnesota, you might want to get a hat. In order to do the buzz cut, it's super easy. All you have to do is invest in a good pair of clippers and buzz off all your hair. Now, not everybody is good at buzzing hair. I tried to do it on my son once and I messed it up. So if you don't trust yourself, maybe get a friend to do it for you. A buzz cut obviously isn't for everybody, but for some of you, it might be the best choice. Now, if you want more information on going gray with wigs or with the dye strip technique, stick around and watch these two videos that I'm putting up here. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon.